Hi everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of Sister Wives, Season 18, Episode 1, No Such Thing as a Free Lunch. Okay, before I begin, I need to explain a little bit, do a little preface here with Sister Wives. For those of you who are not familiar with the show, it's on TLC, although now you can watch all episodes going back to Season 1, Episode 1 on HBO and, gosh, I think maybe Hulu as well. I can't remember, Hulu or Prime, I think. Anyway, this is a show about a polygamist, Cody Brown, and his 4 wives and their children. So the whole show revolves around the Brown family. And I first started watching it because I was fascinated by the idea that any woman could not only be okay with her husband having another wife in all sense of the word, but want that, actually seek it out. I just couldn't wrap my brain around it. I think I've talked about this before, but I'm not a religious person anyway. So for me to kind of wrap my brain around a very patriarchal religion, and even a faction of that religion that believes in plural marriage, was difficult for me, but it didn't take very long before I was not so hung up on that and just really kind of invested in this particular family, the Brown family, mostly because in spite of the fact that these women all share one man and he's their, sun and moon and everything. In spite of that fact, I found all the women to be pretty vocal and, get their own needs met. And sometimes they would band together against Cody and, outrule him on something, outvote him on something. I just quickly kind of immersed myself in this family. And wow. I mean, it did not disappoint. If you have the time to watch 18 seasons, I highly recommend going back and just starting at the beginning and watching, because they go through so much that I can't believe it's not scripted. You watch the children grow and become their own kind of person. That's interesting. We go through a couple marriages. We go through some pregnancies with not only the 4th wife, Robin, but also with some of the older kids who've gotten married and now are having kids of their own. So it's just a fascinating study in family dynamic and in this particular plural family. And because of that, I've always thought about recapping it. I never really knew where to jump in or anything. And now, at the end of season 17, there were some major changes. Past when the filming stopped, it's quite possible that Cody is no longer a polygamist. He might be down to just one wife. So it became really interesting because the family dynamic was really changing. And it's, again, to me anyway, it's just fascinating to watch. So I hope that I can do it justice by recapping it for you. But we're going to delve into season 18 here and possibly the last season ever. I don't know how you can have a show called Sister Wives without any sister wives. So we'll see how this goes. All right. This being the first episode in season 18, we started with like a previously on Sister Wives. And I'm going to go through all that with you because also that might help explain some of the family dynamic and who these people are. So Cody married Mary. Mary is his first wife. And then maybe 2 years later, he married Janelle. And like a year after that, he married Christine. So he had 3 wives within the first 4 or 5 years of his first marriage. And those 3 wives had children. Mary only was able to get pregnant once. She had her child. Janelle had 6 children and Christine had 5. This was season 1. This is how it started. They all lived in one house where Janelle lived on one side, Mary lived on the other, and the whole entire basement was Christine's. And then Cody would just go from one to the other, and he would just rotate, spending the night with the wives. Every third night, he'd be in your bed. That's how it worked. And Janelle worked outside of the home. So did Mary. And Christine was the stay-at-home mom for like all of the kids, for like Janelle's 6 kids too. And they were in school and older too. Like the oldest kids were like teenagers at this point, like 14, 15, something like that. So that was the family dynamics, and that's how it worked for years. And in season 1, Christine was pregnant with Truly, who's now like 12 or something. And so that's kind of, the family worked like that for years and years. And then Cody started to court a 4th wife, Robin. And that kind of shook everything up. That was like season 1, episode 1 was him courting Robin and then marrying her in that first season. And she had 3 children from a previous marriage. So it was now a blended family on top of an already big family, right? And so I think the first 3 wives just, like, their lives just got shaken up with this 4th wife, even though they claimed they wanted to bring her into the family. And I think Mary even found Robin and was kind of like pursued Cody, taking her as a 4th wife. I don't know how that works. It's so weird. But they have had to deal with a lot of jealousy through the years. Okay, so now flash forward to last year, season 17. And this is when I say this was like kind of the demise of the family. Christine, his 3rd wife, left him. Well, she says divorced him, but he was really only legally married to the 1st wife. Although, I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent here, but I don't even remember what season it was, but Robin was afraid that her ex-husband was going to take her children from her. Maybe he didn't want his kids raised in this like plural family or whatever. So Cody wanted to adopt them, but he couldn't adopt them because the law did not recognize Robin as his legal wife. So they went and had a little talk with Mary, his first and only legal wife. And she agreed that it was important, that they have the kids in the family and stuff, and that she not lose them. And so she agreed to divorce Cody. Nothing would change, and Cody promised nothing would change and all that. She divorced him so that he could legally marry Robin and legally adopt her children, which is what happened. There's a million theories on Robin being very manipulative and all that kind of thing. And we may or may not believe that. We'll see how that goes. But in any case, Christine just got to the point where she felt like he favored Robin over everybody else. She couldn't take it anymore. It didn't feel right to her. She didn't have intimacy in her marriage, although Cody did tell her, in spite of what she thinks, they did have intimacy. He's like, I'm sorry it was conditional based upon being part of a plural marriage, but we did have intimacy. And she's like, yeah, that's not what I want for myself. And so everyone was like, you go, girl. And Christine left him last year. She moved back to Utah. The family is now living in Flagstaff, Arizona. So she moved back to Utah where a couple of her adult children live so she could be closer to them. That all happened at the end of last season. Now, in real life, we're hearing that like she's got a new boyfriend and that maybe they're getting married. And I think he's going to be on this season, the new boyfriend. So that'll be interesting. I'm kind of excited for that. But in this section of like previously on Sister Wives, there was that conversation with Christine before she left. Cody's very upset about her leaving. And like I said, she said they're divorced, but they weren't legally married. So nothing's official, but like according to her, in her mind. And Christine no longer believes in the religion. So to her, it's over, like she's out of there. Now, this is also part of previously on. Mary and Cody are in the car together. This was also last year. And Cody said, you want to be with me, but you're not courting me. And Mary goes, well, I didn't know I was supposed to court you. Time out. Side note, a little backstory there is that 3 seasons ago, Mary had a little catfishing storyline. Yeah, she had gotten to talking to somebody online and thought it was this man who was very attentive. Let me just say this. He was showing her the attention that she didn't get from Cody. And therein lies the problem with this plural marriage thing is that the women, whether they say they believe it or not, and whether they love each other or not, they're jealous naturally. So this man is showing her attention, and she's been corresponding with him, and it was really getting kind of all flirty and stuff. Well, it turned out to be some crazy woman who was catfishing her. It all came out, and Cody, felt betrayed. It was like Mary had an emotional affair. And to be honest with you, even prior to that, and maybe what led to her seeking out this catfish, was that he was kind of over Mary. He was not feeling her anymore. And so now it's even worse because he feels like she had this emotional affair. And like, if it really wasn't a catfish, if it really was this man who was falling for Mary, like she was going to meet him in person and stuff. So, could a real affair have been far behind if it didn't turn out to be a crazy woman? Possibly. So anyway, in Cody's confessional, he said, "I'm not saying Mary should chase me. In fact, that might be off-putting, but she's not making any effort." So now I would say, after he said that, that he does not want her to make an effort. He won't divorce her because that's against the religion, but he doesn't want anything to do with her. Another thing I will say is part of the reason this whole family's falling apart and he's really only ending up with Robin, the fourth wife, is because during COVID, he sort of just lived at Robin's house. And he didn't really hardly at all see the other wives. He never visited Mary. He rarely, if ever, went to Mary's house. Now that they moved to Flagstaff, I should say that they all live in separate houses because they couldn't find anything near each other. That's a whole nother long story. But in any case, that was kind of the beginning of the end, maybe. The whole COVID thing kind of broke the family apart a lot. Okay, and sorry, this is still previously on. There's a scene with Cody and Janelle is his second wife. And he's telling Janelle, "I have someone in my life who's fundamentally loyal to me, who sees me as the head of the family. And I'm saying that you and I get that if you're loyal to me." It's so gross. So Robin, the fourth and newest wife, apparently she's like all in on this religion and treating Cody like he's her Lord and Savior. And the other three wives are, they're more independent. And like I said, part of what I liked about them is they were a little sassy. They got what they wanted. They kind of were more in charge. It was much more of a democracy than, maybe Cody would have liked. So, he's telling Janelle that she can have what he and Robin have if she's loyal to him the way Robin is. Then he's like, come on, Janelle, we haven't acted like a married couple for most of our marriage. So again, that's somebody else that I don't think he's had sex with her probably in a very long time. And Janelle likes it that way, I think. That's what I think about Janelle. Mary would love to be intimate with Cody, but Cody treats her like a buddy. He's not in love with her anymore. He may have even said that to her face. It feels pathetic because she won't leave. She's like, "I still have hope." I don't know. For a while there, I thought she was just being super stubborn and you want to kick me out, then you're going to have to kick me out or you're going to have to divorce me, because she knew he wouldn't do it. And I was kind of like, okay, I like how you're playing this maybe. But I'm not sure that was it at all. I think she still loves him, and it hurts my heart because he's all but told her he's not interested in her anymore. Then we see a scene with Cody and Robin's kids, and Janelle, and they are at Christine's saying goodbye to her the night before she was packing up and moving. And it was just weird and awkward. We revisit Cody and Robin and their very strict COVID rules, which at first I was like, okay, we didn't really understand COVID at the beginning. I can understand with such a large family being worried about it running rampant through all the children and stuff like that. And so he was trying to be very, very careful in that he was the only person that would go from family to family to family. The problem with that was that, there was a couple problems. One, the kids couldn't see each other. So they were being cut off from their siblings, essentially. If they were born to a different mother, they weren't, quarantining like in the same house with them. That was hard, especially for the little kids. Now we have a whole slew of like younger kids, like 12 and under, and they missed each other. Cody was being very, very careful. Like at Janelle's house, her 3 sons, they had to work and they had jobs that they had to go to and work. They couldn't work from home, in other words. And, one of them had a girlfriend they would see. And Cody basically didn't want them to, I don't know if he didn't want them to go to work, but he didn't want them to see their girlfriends. It was like that or me. If you're going to go to work and see your girlfriends, then you don't see me. I can't come to your house and risk bringing COVID home to Robin's house. The whole family started to resent Robin because the kids weren't getting to see their dad or each other. And Robin was the only good wife who was, implementing all of his rules. Although, again, there was a question as to like whose rules they were, because Janelle's sons think that Robin was controlling that whole thing. Okay, so that was just the previously on. And now we get like the opening, which is different. No words. And we just see each of the, adults, Cody and the wives, separately. And then when the graphic comes up that says sister wives on the eye, it's all the rings, all the wedding rings. And then the last one falls off, and that's Christine. Even though I'm pretty sure 2 more fall off, but we'll see how the season plays out. All right, so we open with Cody. In his confessional, he said, that the family is really strained right now. Christine moved me out of her house a year ago and said we were divorced. Again, Cody is only legally married to Robin, so. And then he said, Mary and I have infrequent interactions. We haven't functioned like a real marriage in 7-8 years. Things with Janelle are strained, and the holidays are coming up, and I don't know what we're going to do, because the family's not talking. Okay, now we see Cody visiting Janelle, who is, she's been living in an RV on Coyote Pass. Okay, Coyote Pass, this is so crazy. The family lived in Utah. They fled Utah because Utah was really cracking down on plural marriage, and they were afraid Cody was going to be arrested. And so, like, in the middle of the night, they packed everything up in moving vans and they all moved to Las Vegas. In Las Vegas, they found a cul-de-sac with 4 houses being built, and they bought all 4 of them, one for each wife, and Cody just had to go from house to house. Like I said, they were all in the cul-de-sac, and, like they would have parties in the yards and that kind of thing. The kids could run back and forth, and that worked pretty well until Cody got this idea one day that they should move. He never really wanted to be in Las Vegas. He didn't really want to raise his children in Las Vegas, Sin City and all that. Is that what it's called? I don't know. I'm thinking of just like this gambling and the strip and everything, but he gets this idea that he wants to move. And somehow, I don't know who came up with Flagstaff, but if you listen to the podcasts and the other people that are recapping this show much better than I do, everyone really kind of blames Robin. Basically saying that Robin's son got into University of Arizona, which is near Flagstaff or in Flagstaff. She wanted to be near him, and like they all think it was her idea, but of course, she's always playing like the innocent one. Like, oh no, I would never. And Cody absolutely acted like it was his idea. And maybe it was, I don't know. But the others did not, nobody wanted to go. Nobody wanted to get up and move, and it wasn't easy either. I mean, Cody says they're moving and they have to move. So they had to sell all these houses. The market at the time, I don't know, they weren't selling or they weren't getting the money they thought and all this kind of thing. And there's never any real good plan. There's no sort of good, solid financial plan for like what they're going to do in Flagstaff. For one thing, Flagstaff is more expensive cost of living than where they were in Las Vegas. And they couldn't find houses. They couldn't find places to live. They ended up buying these acres of land called Coyote Pass, and they were going to build on there. Cody had this great idea that he wanted to build one giant house so that the family would be all together again. Some of the wives were like, absolutely not. I don't want to watch him walking out with one wife and going on a date and they have to walk past me, and which is so bizarre to me because this is your religion. You believe in this. Yet now you don't even want to see him walk out the door with another wife. It's not like they're having sex in front of you. Look, I wouldn't want it either, but I would never be in a plural marriage. So I'm just saying, if you believe in that, and that is what's in your heart and, what you believe in, then I'm just very curious about why you can't even live in the same house with this person anymore. They used to. I mean, they never lived with Robin, but the other 3 wives lived together. So Cody's big idea about having them all live in one house went kaput. Now they were going to build 4 houses on this property, Coyote Pass. But it's been so long, and there's a lot of financial stuff I don't understand. They have to pay it off first, and if they don't pay off by the end of the year or something like that, they'll default on the loan. So they're concerned that they can't pay it off. Why? Because they're so dumb. They had to buy all these giant houses. Well, they were renting them, but then Robin had to buy hers because, according to them, she couldn't find a rental. So they bought this giant house. And then Mary's also in a big house. And I understand that all the wives wanted it to be equal. All the wives should have the same thing. But even back in Las Vegas, Mary did not need that big of a house. It was her all by herself, because at that point, her daughter was in college and gone. So she's in the same size house as Janelle and her 6 kids, or, Robin and her 5 kids, and then Mary all by herself. So Janelle seems to be the only wife that still wants to build on Coyote Pass. Obviously, Christine doesn't. She's out. She's divorced, out of the family, doesn't care about Coyote Pass anymore. So what happened when Janelle, I think she was renting a house and then maybe they were selling the house or something. She had to move out. So she bought an RV, a 5th wheel, I think she called it. It's this giant thing that she parked on the land and was living in with her youngest daughter. Her older kids are out of the house now, but she couldn't stay there. She had to pack it up for winter, and now she's in an apartment in downtown Flagstaff. So anyway, Cody goes to visit Janelle on the property to help her close up the RV and store it for the winter. In Janelle's confessional, she said, 3.5 years ago, we intended to build on Coyote Pass. Since then, Robin has bought a house, but Janelle held out waiting for this dream to come true. And meanwhile, she, like I said, is renting an apartment downtown. According to Cody and Robin, though, Robin's rental sold out from under her, and they could not find another rental big enough for her and the kids, and they ended up having to buy this ginormous house. And Cody just thinks that Janelle should have also bought a house 2 years ago instead of doing this rental thing. Why? And where are they getting the money for all this property? It's crazy to me. I mean, it always has been crazy. I can't understand how they can get a loan on building all these houses. And then I think they lost money when they sold the houses in Las Vegas. And now they're all over the place. They're not even really near each other in Flagstaff because the inventory was so low when they moved there willy-nilly, which was also cuckoo crazy. I don't even think it was a good time for kids in school. It's so weird. I will never understand that whole situation. But anyway, like I said, Cody's there to help Janelle, pack up this RV. But it's a very strained relationship between the two of them. And it mostly revolves around the fact that he's angry with his oldest boys, with Janelle, because they weren't complying with his COVID rules, and Cody stopped coming around. and they resented him for that. At one point, Janelle said Garrison, that's one of her older boys, got so fed up that he called Robin and said, hey, can we have our dad back? So they really did blame Robin for these COVID rules, not their dad. Maybe they're right. I don't really know. Cody feels that Robin has been severely wronged and that those boys owe her an apology. Robin said she never asked for an apology. And she's prompted like a conversation with everybody, but Janelle doesn't think that Cody is really making any kind of an effort on his part to make amends with his sons. All right, so Thanksgiving 2022.
Actually, this was 2021. I forget how behind they are in filming.
Janelle is planning to go to Maddie and Caleb's house. Maddie is her and Cody's oldest daughter, and Caleb is her husband. They've got 2 kids now, I think, maybe 3. And I think they live in North Carolina. So she was going to go there for Thanksgiving. And Cody was like all hurt because he's still nursing his wounds because, you know, he's going through a divorce with wife number 3. And he wishes that wife number 2 would show more compassion, you know, be more supportive because her poor husband's going through a divorce. It's so weird. Anyway, he's like, but instead of being supportive, she has actually made it pretty clear that she's choosing Christine over Cody. Like Janelle and Christine have really gotten close. And whenever Christine does come to visit, it's basically Janelle and her kids. Because Janelle is kind of taking Christine's side in the divorce. Whereas Robin is, you know, the loving, devoted wife of Cody and always will be. And Mary, God knows what Mary's doing. Cody wants nothing to do with Mary. Mary has a B&B that she owns in Paraguay. I can't remember. It's a place, I think it's in Utah. And it was like something that her family owned many years ago, and she wanted it back in the family again. Again, I don't know where they got their money, but she has that. And I believe that her child and their significant other are running it, right? Well, maybe not now in real life, but they were kind of at the time. And her mom was running it, but her mom passed away. So I think that's when her kid came to kind of take over. And then Mary was like back and forth. Cody doesn't even know why Mary doesn't just stay there. That's how little he wants to do with her. She's your wife, dude. I mean, I just don't get it. Either like release her or whatever. Let her have a life. Don't let her keep hanging on. Anyway, now we see Christine in Her Confessional for the first time, and oh my God, you guys. She is so delightfully, I have never seen her this happy. I have never seen Christine this happy since she left Cody. She looks like a woman who just got a 180-pound weight lifted off of her that she's been carrying for 21 years. I'm not kidding. It is hysterical how happy she looks. She's like, welcome to my new house in Salt Lake City. Side note, if she had more money, she would be an awesome Salt Lake City housewife. She'd be a good addition to that show. Okay, so Cody tells us that since Christine left him, Janelle has been doing things with Christine and her kids and not the rest of the family, or even just him alone. And he does not know what to make of it. Yeah, I do, dude. She's halfway out the door. She's had enough with you. And she, too, understands that you're favoring Robin over her own boys, your own boys. Janelle has said many times over the years, but last year in particular, if you're going to make me choose between you and my kids, I'm going to choose my kids every time. So she definitely does not like this, whatever is going on between Cody and her sons. And I say her sons, but they're his kids too. He just doesn't act like it. He also has this weird mentality, and maybe you have to when you've got, 2,700 children, that once you're like 18, you're an adult and you're on your own. I used to think he was such a good dad. And those first seasons and stuff is crazy and bizarre as the whole plural marriage thing was. He's got a lot of energy and he always had a good spirit and was always in a good mood and fun. He was always kind of a fun dad. And it definitely seemed like he made time for each of the kids. And I don't know. It's funny to me because I don't see that anymore. You might say that, well, what changed? Robin and her kids taking priority? I don't know. Okay, so I guess the timing of this, of season 18 filming, starting to film, was really pretty soon after season 17 aired. Because like Thanksgiving hasn't happened yet. And during season 17 was when they had this whole like discussion about what are you going to do for Thanksgiving? This is maybe only a couple months later. Robin is worried and stressed out that the whole family isn't going to be together for the holidays. We get a flashback to when Robin first joined the family and everyone and all the kids would get together for all the holidays. There's like a little flashback to them all outside on like a plastic sheet, carving pumpkins together. There's like, 12 of them. So yeah, she's just reminiscing on how fun it was when the whole family would be together. And things are very different now. All right, so Christine has come back to Flagstaff to visit Janelle and her kids. And she is helping Janelle build a new bookcase for her new apartment. They both say that they feel like they're sister wives because whatever bond it is that they have, they feel like they're closer than just friends. And, when they were younger, when all the kids were younger and Janelle worked, I said this before, but Christine stayed at home and she watched all of the children and even homeschooled them. So Janelle's children are very close to Christine. She's their like another mother to them. Well, they all are. All the kids consider all of the women to be like their moms, but Janelle's kids and Christine are particularly close. So Janelle shows Christine that she has plans drawn up for a house, just a small house, a little casita, to build on Coyote Pass when it gets paid off. Again, Cody doesn't think they have the money to pay it off. Janelle does. And in her confessional, she said, we're in the same situation as when we gave Christine money for her house. And definitely when we gave Robin money for her house. See, that's the thing in this plural marriage. Like all of their money is pooled together. And so when one person needs money, it comes from the pool that it's everybody's money. So even though Janelle may have been kind of the breadwinner for a while there, she earned more money. You can't really say, like, Christine was a stay-at-home mom, so you can't really say that all that money should be Janelle's. Like, Christine raised her kids, So the money got all pooled. And according to Janelle, they had the money to help Christine buy her house and they had the money to help Robin buy her house. But now when it comes to Janelle wanting to build her house, just a little house on Coyote Pass, Cody's like, oh, we don't have the money for that. She said, I feel like nobody's watching out for me, which it kind of sounds like she's right. All right, so Christine and Janelle talk about Christmas now. And Janelle said it's going to be separate because Cody wants a big apology from Hunter, Garrison, and Gabriel. Those are her three, older sons. Well, Logan is the oldest kid, but Logan has stopped filming, which I think is very smart. I don't know. I haven't seen Logan in 4 years, maybe more. Maybe just very occasionally. But yeah, he pretty much stopped filming. And he's the oldest child, period, of all the wives. And so the three other boys who are, I don't know, in their 20s, are the ones that Cody's having his issue with because they're the ones that weren't complying to his COVID rules. Christine said that Cody told her that her leaving him was breaking up the whole family. And Janelle goes, no. This issue with the boys and Cody, that's totally separate. That's Cody's issue. But she's worried because Cody said he's tired of doing all the work to keep this family together. Is he doing work? Because it feels like he's making things worse. Anyway, Janelle feels like as the patriarch of this family, it's his responsibility to hold the family together. In Cody's confessional, he said, I could be a great leader of this family, and I should be, but Janelle is undermining my authority. And he said because he doesn't have the exposure to his kids that Janelle does, because he doesn't live with them full time, that's why he needs Janelle to back him up, support him, take his side, and show the boys that they also need to obey him. Okay, now we see Mary, I think for the first time this episode, and she is stopping over at Robin's house. Mary's freezing because she forgot that they would be sitting outside, I think. So Robin goes in the house to get her, I thought she was going to get her a blanket, but she comes out and she's like, this is Cody's coat. And Mary goes, oh, I can pretend he's hugging me. It's not funny. It's not funny, but it's so pathetic. Wearing her husband's coat to pretend like he's hugging her. And Robin's like, oh, like Robin hugs her to like be a pseudo Cody. In Mary's confessional, she's like, mine and Cody's relationship is basically I see Cody when I come over to visit Robin. She goes, I've heard him refer to us as friends, which is weird because like friends talk to each other. All right, so now Mary and Robin are talking about what they're going to do for the holidays. And Mary's like, well, I'll be there. And so Robin is very grateful because last Thanksgiving, the only people at Robin's house were Robin, Cody, Robin's kids, and Mary came over. It was like pathetic. Again, Mary acts like she's just a good friend of Robin's that they invite over for the holidays, instead of the fact that Mary has been married to Cody longer than Robin has. Mary was Cody's first wife, and Mary divorced him so that Robin could marry him. And now it's like Mary just got pushed out. It's so sad to watch. Anyway, I am wondering kind of why Mary said, oh, yeah, of course I'll be there. What else am I going to do? Mary's child goes by the name Leon, and they live in Chicago, I think, with their partner. So I'm just curious why Mary's not going there for the holidays. Or why is Leon not coming to Flagstaff? I don't know. I think they have a good relationship with each other, so I'm not sure. So the only thing that I hate, because Robin's like, oh, thank you for, I'm so glad you'll be there at least. The thing I hate is that Robin is like keeping Mary around. She's like, hang in there, just hang in there. Because, maybe he'll change his mind and you just have to keep trying. She wants Mary to stay. Now she's like telling her that, she's trying not to get too depressed about, I don't know, winding up Cody's only wife. That's what I think. I think she does not want him by herself. She's happy to be married to him, but I don't think she wants the responsibility of Cody all by herself, and I don't think she wants Cody at her house 24/7. I really don't. Anyway, she's like questioning whether, like, when she came into the family, she's asking Mary, were there problems that I just didn't see? Because I feel blindsided by Christine leaving, and everything's just coming down like a house of cards. Okay, now we are at Salsa Brava, which is a restaurant in the area, and Christine has asked Cody to come and have lunch with her and discuss, I guess, Truly, which is really their only underage child that's left. Probably about the holidays, visitation, and all that kind of thing. Christine would like to have an amicable divorce. She'd like to be able to talk to Cody about Truly and, what the plan is for the holiday. Cody agrees to meet her reluctantly. He's not crazy about the idea. We cut back to Robin and Mary, and Mary's like, we were a good family. But if when Robin came to join the family, she thought we were perfect, then either we were really good actors or she had blinders on. But yeah, Robin is just starting to question her reality. In her confessional, she goes, I'm wondering if I didn't know what was happening back then. I'm telling you, she is mad that she is going to wind up in a monogamous marriage. Mark my words, Robin does not want to be the only wife. And then she's, they call her Sobbin' Robin for a reason. She's like, I thought this was a safe place for my kids to be. Oh, come on. It's not safe. And then we see confessionals from Janelle, Christine, and Cody. Cody, who thinks the family was always dysfunctional, and Janelle and Christine, who think a lot changed since Robin joined the family. Not that they're blaming Robin per se, but the timing of that is when things stopped. Like Christine says, the timing of Robin coming to the family, certain traditions that the family had stopped. They never did things with the whole family anymore. I don't know if that's really Robin's fault or if it's just like there got to be too many people. So Mary reminisces about the day that Christine told the whole family that she was leaving. And she also said, she wasn't interested in continuing a relationship with us. I remember that time too. And Christine didn't really say it like that. Robin asked her if she was interested in working things out with her, even though she was leaving Cody. And Christine said, I just need some space, not right now. But to be fair, I mean, things were never really great between Mary and Christine. And Christine has been jealous of Robin since she joined the family. Kind of rightly so. Because Cody, God, he could not hide his infatuation with Robin. It was like he would grin from ear to ear when he would look at her. She was the new, shiny, younger toy that kind of got thrown in the face of the 3 older wives. One of the knocks on Robin is that she's very manipulative and she likes to be the victim. For example, like now she's saying to Mary, I just had hoped that Christine and I could work out our differences and, be close. Yeah, but that was not going to happen. And talk like that worked on Cody too. You could tell that Robin would be saying stuff like this in private to him because he then would repeat it, not verbatim, but then he would come to Christine and say things like, you never gave Robin a chance. You were never open to accepting her to the family. I mean, he got that from Robin crying like, poor me at home. Now Robin's crying about how shattered she felt when Christine talked about leaving Cody. And then she's like, I wonder if it's just because Christine doesn't believe in the faith anymore. No, it's because of you. I'm sorry. Christine wanted more from Cody. She wanted to be intimate. She wanted a fully functioning marriage with Cody. Mary, I don't know. Mary's okay being called a friend, I guess. In Mary's confessional, she said, people always say to me, you're only staying because you're forced to, because you think you can't go to heaven without it. Bull, you don't know me. When I married Cody, I made a commitment to him, and I still honor that. But should you still honor that? He's not honoring any kind of a commitment to you. He doesn't honor you or value you in any way. She said, and when we decided to become a plural family, I didn't do that because I thought it was the only way I would get into heaven. I did it because I loved Cody and I wanted to spend my eternities with him. Okay, well, now you're making it sound like you just did it to keep him. Like he wanted another wife and you're like, yeah, okay, that's fine. If you didn't do it because you believed it for religious reasons, then you did it. Why? Because your husband wanted, I don't know. It just sounds like she doesn't believe in the faith or plural marriage. She just didn't want to lose Cody. Also, how can someone be with you for eternities, plural? Like, how long is that? If one eternity is forever, I don't know how that works. All right, so now Robin continues to manipulate Mary into staying in a loveless marriage for her sake, I think, Robin's sake. I don't like this. I mean, any real friend would want you to be in a fully functioning marriage, right? Not Robin. We need to carry the torch to keep this family going for Cody. Mary's like, well, I mean, I talk to Cody like every other week, maybe. Jeez. It just gets worse and worse the more you hear about her relationship with Cody. Anyway, I get why Cody loves Robin the most. And it's not just because she treats him like her best customer. Do you guys remember that? It was in one of the reunions. She said that the other wives don't treat Cody like, you need to treat your man like he's your best customer. I know. It sounds a little bit like prostitute, but it's not what she meant. It's worse. It's kind of worse because she's not getting paid. She's just treating him like the world revolves around him. But anyway, remember earlier, Janelle, when she was talking about Cody saying he was too tired to keep the family together, but that she didn't really have much sympathy for him because he's the patriarch of the family and that's kind of his job to keep the family together. But Robin wants to carry the torch for him because he's tired. Their husband just went through a divorce. It's got to be rough on him. So yeah, she wants to carry the torch. Well, actually, she wants her and Mary to carry the torch for Cody. Why? Why does Mary have to do it? What has Cody done for Mary? in the last 7 or 8 years. Cody actually told Mary to her face that he didn't love her like that anymore, and that he was not interested in being intimate with her. And also that he didn't understand why she was hanging around Flagstaff. So Mary owes Cody nothing. And why Mary would do anything for Cody's benefit is beyond me. But, keep selling it, Robin. Because if you don't, you're going to find yourself in a monogamous marriage. Mary made the point to Robin that she doesn't even think Cody would recognize support from her or want it. Not from her. Anyway, back at Salsa Brava with Cody and Christine. In Cody's confessional, he said, I felt so betrayed by Christine after everything I've done for this marriage. And then to have her talk me to the kids. I feel like I never want to see her again. And I'd like to spend some time hating her. Yeah. So the plan for Christmas is that Christine is going to spend it with their kids that are grown. And then I guess a couple days between Christmas and New Year's, she's going to drive down to Flagstaff with Truly. Then Truly can stay with Cody and Robin. And right away, Cody's like, are you going to test for COVID? And she goes, oh, I mean, you still want us to do that even now? And he's like, yeah. So she goes, okay, so they're going to test when they get down there. And then Truly will stay with them. And she's going to go stay with Janelle and her kids. Christine ends up nervously laughing when talking about when Cody had COVID because he had anxiety and depression with it. Mostly because Cody's a big baby every time he gets sick. I don't think she was really making fun of someone who gets a very bad case of COVID. I don't think she thinks that's funny, but it was kind of nervous laughter, really. But anyway, I couldn't help but smile when in her confessional, she was still laughing because she's not still married to him. She's like, it's so freaking awesome. I'm telling you, this is not a Christine I've ever seen before. So anyway, that was it for episode 1. I'm sorry. I know I did a lot of talking at the beginning, but I wanted to get you guys a little caught up for those of you who are unfamiliar with the series altogether. And also just to kind of explain why I'm interested in something so patriarchal, so distasteful to me. This plural marriage thing where there's one man and several wives. And I find it so demeaning to women. And I'm not celebrating that. But because it's so crazy to me that it's something that any woman would want, I found it very interesting. It's something you know what? It's like being interested in the mind of a serial killer or something. I don't celebrate that. I don't think it's great, but I do think it's fascinating what goes on in their mind that, they would want to kill all these people. So it's kind of that sort of just an interest in something that seems so foreign to me. I should just say that at the time I'm filming this, it was just on a few days ago, this episode, and episode 2 hasn't aired yet. By the time you guys are going to see this, it's probably going to be months from now because I am still doing Real Housewives of Orange County, and I am just going to work on and edit one video a week. So it won't be until that ends probably. We'll see. I'm not sure when I'm going to fit this in, but I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're interested at all in watching the series, again, I know for sure it's on HBO. Other than that, it's going to either be Hulu or Prime, and I think it's Hulu, but you can Google it easy enough to find out. And if you're new here and you haven't subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. And if you click on the bell icon down below, you will get a notification every time I post something new on my channel. All right. Thank you so much for giving this a try, this crazy show. And I hope I'll see you next week. I love you guys. Till next time. Bye.